I think. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Abimel, we can start.
Yes, Rakesh, of course we can start. Like, I think there are 8+ participants, so we can start.
Okay, hello everyone. First of all, thanks for joining the another event. So today event is about React. What is it? Why React and how it can help you and what is the use of it. So let's start. So I am Rakesh Patnuru, Beta MLSA, and we have Abimel. He's also Beta MLSA. So Abimel, would you like to give a short intro about yourself?
Yeah, hi all, good evening. So I am Abhimal from Kerala. So I'm studying in John Cox Memorial CC Institute of Technology. I'm a Beta Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador and the host of this meeting. And I'm very glad to introduce Rakesh. Rakesh is the speaker of this session. He's taking the session getting started with React. I'm extremely happy to give the mic to him. Rakesh. Okay.
Okay, let's start. So first of all, before actually moving into the actual thing, you need some prerequisites. So those are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Git. You don't need advanced knowledge. Basic knowledge will also be enough, and you need to have a little understanding about a package management tool like npm, and Node.js knowledge is not necessary. It is added here because we are using npm. Even if you don't know about them, no worries. And install Node.js and npm locally. Make sure you have this installed locally. And if you are working for the first time with Node, you can use like online tools like Replit. It will come pre-installed, all the things. And finally, a code editor, something like Visual Studio Code. I think every one of you know Visual Studio Code, so get it ready. Learning objectives. So in this session, we are going to explore React and JSX, and we will also create a sample, install React and create a sample React project, and we will explore how to create a React component and display data dynamically. And finally, we will apply some stylings to our React app. This is going to be interesting. After I tell you, after I give you a little intro about React, and you will be amazed about how amazing it is and how many problems it will solve and how easy it makes to create interfaces. So why React? So let's take a look at this Stack Overflow Developer Survey 2021. As everyone can see this.
Yes, Rakesh, you can see that.
Yeah. So what is this? Technology. Um, See here. So among all the web frameworks available today, React is the most popular one. Uh, jQuery used to be a popular one before React, but from 2021, React just passed jQuery, and then after we have Express, Angular, and Vue. One of the major competitors of React.js. So a lot of very famous companies use React. For example, Airbnb, Facebook itself uses React, and Medium, and a lot of very big companies uses React. So if you want to make a career in React, then you have all the motivation you need. Um, so so that's about the popularity. So introduction to React. So before explaining what is React, let's see what what problem React solves. So earlier, before React was introduced, people used to use plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to build user interfaces. But what happened is, for simple projects, those are fine. But as the project grows very large, and you need very complex user interfaces like Facebook has a lot of things like the profiles and the news feed, like different things. It is a very complex app, and building that level complex app is hard if you use just simple HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and that's why they built React. So what it does is it packages groups different parts of the code into what they call components. So you can uh, group some part of the code into a component, and you can also reuse the code. Let me show you a live example. Let's open medium.com. So do you all know what is medium? Can react, give a thumbs up. Yeah. So Arun, would you like to tell what is medium?
So Medium is like for the writings, the writers they can publish their articles, I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Not nothing complex here. So medium, it built on React, built with React. So if you see, there are a lot of elements on this page, like this navigation bar here, and some icons, and some drop downs, and all these cards, uh, tags. So these are like repetitive elements. For example, this chord here, and again another chord here, and again another chord here. And if you use plain CSS, HTML, CSS, it can be a little bit complex uh, to use that code again and again. So what you can do is you can put this in a component, and you can reuse that component for all these chords. So the first problem the React solves is it reduces the amount of code you need to write. So another thing is, let's open a story. So when you like click on like or comment or something, let's say I click, see it automatically updated to likes count without refreshing the whole page. If you see some sites using plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, they what they do is they refresh for every click. They refresh the whole page for every click. But if you use React, you can automatically update the state. There is something called states in React. It is a little bit advanced topic. We are not going to cover that in this. So yeah, that's So that's about reactive side of React.
So I want to ask, React is like, are you having any idea of PHP? Like, so React is like
Yep.
PHP or React is like CSS?
Okay, okay. I forgot to mention React is a front-end library, front-end JavaScript library. PHP is a back-end language. So it's my mistake. Sorry for that. So React is a front-end JavaScript library. It is used to build user interfaces like
So
this.
React is like just the extension of CSS, right?
Uh, no, no, extension of like JavaScript. Yeah, and React uses this syntax called JSX. JSX means JavaScript and HTML. So instead of putting different files for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, so what React does it puts all these three in a single file. I mean, you can write HTML in JavaScript, you can put JavaScript in HTML, and you can put CSS in JavaScript, HTML, like all things in one file. So yeah, React is a open source front end library. So so actually Facebook internally used React to build their messenger, but after some years they made it open source so that it grows. Uh, so I already told about JSX. JSX means JavaScript plus HTML. We will see the syntax later. So in this workshop, we are going to create a very simple place to display receipt titles, receipts, receipts. So we are going to just display those receipt titles in a component. And I already explained about JSX. Mm, So instead of creating different files for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you can use all that in a single file. So it enables faster development. And another thing you need to know is browsers don't support JSX. Browsers only support HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So in order to convert this JSX into HTML, CSS, JavaScript, um, we use something called a Webpack, Snowpack, or White. These are just simply some tools that converts JSX into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, so that browser can read that code. I will show you that later. Components. So this is the most interesting uh, thing about React. And this is also the part I like about React. So in React, everything is a component. For example, take Medium. So in Medium, like this search bar, this is a component, and this whole navigation bar, this is a component, and this thing, this is a component, and this like button, this is a component. Everything is a component. uh, like uh, one component on top of another component. For example, this is a navigation component, and in the below the navigation component you can just put this, like this body component. In that body component you can put this like this. You can divide this whole web page into different components, and that's how it will make easy for you to build, I mean, to expand those components. For example, let's take this comment. This whole thing is a component. So if you isolate this component from the your whole code, you can develop it individually without disturbing the rest of the code. So that's the thing about component. We will see how to create components later. So let's actually start creating project. So I think all of you are ready with your laptops. I will give 1 or 2 minutes to get ready. Uh, Before that, you can ask any questions you have till now. Even if you don't understand anything till now, you can ask it. I will repeat that. Once you are done setting up your laptop, just raise your hand. There is a raise button. You can just
So,
click on.
what we have to open in the letter, like VS Code, we have to keep
Yeah,
open.
yeah, Visual Studio Code. Rest of the people, Adityan, Aparna, Parshin, Jeffrey, Griffin, Tushar, Vishnu. If you never worked with Node.js or NPM, you can use Replit. It is an online IDE code editor. I recommend it. I hope you all know what is Replit. Okay, if you are ready, in Replit, you don't need to type any commands to create a new project. You can just select. Wait, let me show you.
Hey Warren, what are you doing, man?
So just click on create and type React React with JavaScript and click on create ripple.
Clicking.
See, it will automatically created a React app. So how to do this in locally? So open any folder. I usually place all my projects in in its own folder. Wait. So open your command prompt and type command this command npx create react app my app.
I use Linux, so for Linux also it will be the same.
If you use Linux, I think you already know. Yeah, it is same. You can go to official React JS docs and see how to install in. It is same, I think, because it is a command line. It is a command, right? It will work. So it created the project with some default files. Let's open. I think I already have a project called Maya. Let's create another project. Okay, it's creating a new project with the name demo, installing packages, React, React DOM, React scripts. So in NPM and Node.js, we call these packages called dependencies. So React depends on these dependencies to create an application, to run an application. This installation also depends on your internet connection. If you have like fast internet connection, it will install fast. And I also forgot to announce at the end of the meet, I will share a attendance form link. You have to fill that attendance form link so that we can give you certificates for the participation. So stay in the meet. Meanwhile, if you guys have any doubts, please ask. Anyone would like to explain to me uh, what is React from your little understanding till now? We have some goodies. Whoever explains it.
Guys, we will be providing some digital goodies only to those who are attentive and interactive in this session. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, Tushar.
I can say that what I've understood, React is a library which we
Yeah,
use on through JavaScript.
that's it. I mean, what is the use of it? Like, what problem it solves?
Master. Clap even.
Uh,
Master.
See, it added 1400 packages. So our project has been created. We can now start the project with npm start command. Oh, sorry. First, we have to move into that directory, our project directory. So React scripts, it is a script that will run the scripts we mentioned in a file called package.json. I will tell you what is it in a moment. It takes a little bit time to start the project. So before it starts, let's open the project in Visual Studio Code. Open your code editor or Ripple it. Open that project. Where is it? I hope everyone can see this.
Uh, yes, Rakesh.
Yes, yes.
Let me zoom it a little more. Okay. So if you notice, project is automatically starting the development server. So you can see this is loading. The reason why it is taking so much time is because you can see there are a lot of modules this project depends on. So React has to load all these libraries in order to start the project. But there are some tools that makes it fast. But let's don't make it super complex now. I hope you understand why this is taking a long time. So yeah, see, compile it successfully. So what this means is I previously told you we use a syntax called JSX in React, but browsers don't read JSX. It needs HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So there is a webpack built in with create React app. So the create React app uses that webpack to compile that JSX code to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that's why it's saying compiled. You can open any of these to see your project. So see, this is a default app created by React team. Just a simple app. So let's actually see what all those files means. There are a lot of files created by the create React app. Let's see what each folder means, what each file means. Um, so first one is node modules. So I told you React installed some packages called like React DOM, React scripts, Web Vitals. These are all the packages React depends on to build an application. So uh, these libraries stay in this folder and public folder. So in public folder, you actually put all the static stuff like images, HTML files, favicons, robot.txt manifest. So you put basically all the static stuff in public folder. In source folder, this is the actual folder that contains actual components. So there are some components already written like app.jsx, index.jsx. These are called components. So in React community, people usually name this as .jsx. You can also name it as .js, but it is a best practice to use .jsx. So let's see what all this code is. So the starting point of your React app is this file called index.jsx. You see there is an element called root.render. So React places this file, this component on this HTML file. So this uh, this whole page, it is a single HTML file. This contains React components, all the components. Let's create a small component called hello world. What you can do is you can just remove all this code and just create a simple code I mentioned in the slide. This code. So what all this means? What is this? What is this? And what is this? So import. So in order to use React JSX, we need to first import React package, and after that we provide a function. In that function, we write this syntax. This is called JSX, and we export this app, and then we import this app and this root component like this, and it will then render that component like this. Our app component contains a simple heading one tag called receipt manager. So nothing complex here. So I hope you understand till now. I didn't make it over complicated, I think. Anyone can just open your mic and tell me, did you understand? Yes, sir.
Can you explain once more what does this line means? Import React from React, like from where it is importing?
So I told you there is a folder called node modules. In this node modules, if you search for package React, see React. So it is actually importing this file. You won't understand all these. These are very complicated, designed by, I mean, written by React team. So all you need to understand is this helps us to write JSX. I mean, use all the React functions and stuff.
Okay,
I
okay,
hope
got it.
you got it. Okay. So you can see our heading one tag rendered receipt manager. Now let's create another component. So let's say this became very complicated. We need to we will export this into its own component like heading component. So what you can do is just create a new component like heading dot JSX. So in there, first let's import React and then define a function. If you know JavaScript, you will understand this. Heading return ship manager, and then export. Now let's use this component in this component. In order to use that heading component, we first have to import that component. Uh, to import a component, it is same as importing packages. Import heading. And then you can use that component like this. Okay. Now, if you want to make changes to that heading component, you don't need to touch this file. You just edit in this, like receipt manager, something. Save this file and see. We haven't even touched the app.jsx component, but we are able to change it. We are able to change the heading. Like this, if you have multiple components like heading component, body component, like a button component, you can separate them into different files and work differently without putting all the source code in one file. Now let's display some dynamic data. So I told you JSX means JavaScript plus HTML, means you can write JavaScript in the HTML file only. So in JavaScript, there is a function called date function. We can get date with that. To get that, we have to write something like new date. This is just a JavaScript, what you call it, object. This will display the date. Okay, we have. Okay, let's see what the error. Okay, something wrong with this method. I think I am using a wrong method. I think I forgot it. Let's see something simple.
Rakesh, I think
Yeah,
that function is date dot now. Then it is that parenthesis. Can you try that? Like I think you had accidentally added one more parenthesis. Date dot now. Yeah, new date. No, date not now. I think that parenthesis is not there.
this one.
Yeah, that is not there. Then the parenthesis. Like I don't know exactly. I think. Oh, yeah. Still there is some problem.
Okay, let's Google it. How to display date in JavaScript. How to get date in JavaScript. we are using right syntax. This is something to do with React.
Rakesh, did you use that inside a div? Like,
Inside it's heading tag.
okay, like, can you try that after inside a div?
It
Inside a
doesn't
div?
matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Let's do something simple. For example, create a function that adds two numbers, A, B, and return their sum. So you all know this is a JavaScript function, right? We are now writing that JavaScript function inside HTML. 2, 3. Let's see if this works. Yeah, see, 5. So we just wrote JavaScript inside HTML. And this syntax is called handlebars. If you ever heard of EJS or something like Flask, Python Flask, you might have heard this syntax. This is called handlebars. We just put two brackets, and in there we put JavaScript. Now let's create another component called receipt title. So what we do, we first import React. Just copy paste this code. And now let's use this component inside our app. So previously I told you we can put multiple components in a single file. Like for example, navbar component, and then body component, and then footer component, like that. Receipt title. See. So that's about displaying dynamic data. Dynamic data means we didn't hard coded mashed potatoes in the heading. We are actually getting from a JavaScript variable. So that means dynamic. So now you all can create your own components and display dynamic data. Let's add a small styling to our component. So you all, I think you all already know there are We can add stylings in three different ways: inline and inline, external and internal. So in JSX, you can use inline CSS. It's not a good practice, but you can use. So to use inline components, you have to, in HTML, what you do, you just write style, color, red. See, this is how you add styles in React. So okay, we are already almost 7:57. We will conduct a small quiz. So all you have to do is go to quiz.com. So just go to quiz.com and enter this code. And once everyone joined the quiz, you can raise your hand. There will be some prizes for the winners. Okay, only 3 people joined. I planned some nice questions in this quiz. I will start at 8 too. Make sure to join. Okay, okay, start.
This was a nice question.
Yeah. Let's don't make everything boring. Okay. So first is Vishnu, second is Febin, third is Tushar.
But this.
So so I will handle all those praises thing to the winners. Next summary. So I know this 1 hour is not enough to cover everything about React. I mean, it is very complex. I mean, 1 hour is not enough to explain everything about React. So I try to cover some very basic and important parts. So I hope you understand. So in this event, we learned the basic concepts of React. We created a React application and we created a component. So we done only these three things. And in React, there are a lot of things like hooks and states, a lot of complex topics. We may plan those in future events. Those are the like actual things about React. These are very basic things. So as I told you, 1 hour is enough to cover everything about React. So what you can do is you can go to microsoft.com/learn and explore these introduction to React, explore Azure, these different learning paths to learn more about React. So here is a little challenge. Uh, Share what you learned in this session on Twitter or LinkedIn and tag me, and the best post will be selected as winners. So we have two challenges. One is quiz and another one is this challenge. Quiz winner is already decided. So let's see who will win this challenge. Time for attendance. Just scan this QR code and fill the form. You can also go to this URL.
Hello Rakesh, can you share your LinkedIn link also in the chat?
Chart, they can't see chart. Only ambassadors can see the chart.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I will try to share in Q&A whether I can see it or not. You can also take a screenshot and later scan this QR code. This form will be open till 12 midnight. So you can fill between before 12. And if you would like to give feedback on what went great, what needs to be improved, you can scan this QR code or go to this link. And if you would like to attend future events, you can subscribe to the list by going to this link. Just take screenshots. So if you have any questions, it is the time. I will also stop the recording.